Let me ask you something man to man, and I want you to be truly honest with yourself. Does it ever feel like your own body, the one vessel you've relied on for 6, 7 decades, is starting to betray you? Does it feel like the strength in your hands isn't what it used to be? That the energy that once powered you through long days now evaporates before lunch? And let's talk about the most private betrayal of all, that feeling in the bedroom. The desire is still there, a flickering ember in your mind, but the physical response, it's hesitant, it's unreliable, or worse, it's completely absent. You find yourself making excuses, pulling away from the intimacy you crave, not out of a lack of love, but out of a deep-seated fear of failure. If any of this resonates with you, know this: you are not alone. And what I'm about to share may be the most crucial, life-altering message you will ever hear about your health as a man. Because that slow fade, that quiet erosion of your vitality, is not an inevitable price of growing older. It is not your fault. The real culprit is a silent saboteur, an invisible thief that has been operating in the shadows of your life for years, maybe decades. This enemy isn't the number of candles on your birthday cake. The enemy is a state of chronic, systemic nutrient starvation. It's a modern epidemic, born from soils that are less fertile than they were for our fathers, and from foods that are processed and stripped of their life-giving essence. Your body is being starved of the very raw materials it needs to produce energy, to maintain blood flow, and to build the hormones that define your masculinity. But here is the promise I want to make to you today, a promise built on over 25 years of research and clinical experience. Your body is not a machine destined to break down. It is a magnificent, self-healing organism that is constantly striving for balance. It wants to be strong. It wants to be vital. The solution to reclaiming the man you know yourself to be doesn't lie in a pharmacy's prescription pad. It is simpler. It is more profound. The tools to awaken your strength have been here all along, encoded in nature, waiting for you to rediscover them. I am the doctor, and my sole purpose here is to guide you back to that innate strength. In this video, I will not just give you a list. I will give you a blueprint, a step-by-step guide to rebuilding your vitality from the cellular level up. We will explore the 3 foundational pillars of male health after 60. But first, before we build anything, we must ensure the foundation is solid. And the true foundation, the one element most men tragically overlook, is simpler than you can imagine. So, get comfortable, grab a glass of water, and you'll understand why in a moment, and let's begin this journey. And if you haven't already, take a second to click that subscribe button. This channel is our private space, a sanctuary where we discuss the real issues men face, with the honesty and depth they deserve. Before we even utter the word vitamin, let's talk about the highway that every nutrient, every hormone, every oxygen molecule in your body travels on. That highway is your bloodstream, and it is over 90% water. Think about that. Chronic, low-grade dehydration is one of the most destructive and widespread conditions I see in men over 60. I remember a patient, Arthur, a 71-year-old retired history professor. He came to me with all the usual complaints: fatigue, brain fog, dizziness. He'd had his heart checked, his blood sugar tested, everything seemed normal. I asked him a simple question: "Arthur, how much water do you actually drink in a day?" He thought for a moment. "Well, I have a few cups of coffee in the morning, maybe a glass of iced tea with lunch, a soda with dinner." He was consuming fluids, but he wasn't consuming water. His body was chronically dehydrated. When you are dehydrated, your blood literally becomes thicker, like sludge. Your heart has to work harder to pump it. Your brain, which is about 75% water, shrinks, impairing memory and focus. And crucially for male performance, that thick, sludgy blood cannot flow efficiently into the small, delicate vessels that create an erection. Dehydration is a direct antagonist to healthy blood flow. Arthur's transformation was astounding, and it began not with a pill, but with a pitcher of water. I had him start every single day by drinking one large, 16-ounce glass of water before his coffee. I asked him to keep a water bottle with him all day. Within 2 weeks, he reported that his afternoon fatigue had vanished. Within a month, he said his mind felt sharper than it had in a decade. And the most surprising benefit? He sheepishly admitted that his performance and interest in the bedroom had seen a remarkable improvement. He wasn't missing a magic nutrient. He was missing the very river that carries life through his body. So, before you do anything else, make this non-negotiable pact with yourself. Start every day with a large glass of pure water. It is the single simplest, cheapest, and most powerful thing you can do for your overall vitality. Now that we've filled the river, let's put the powerful nutrient boats onto it. Now, let's talk about the first pillar. It's a nutrient so powerful, it behaves more like a hormone in your body. It's often called the sunshine vitamin, but I prefer to call it the master key to your circulation. I'm talking about vitamin D. Let's revisit my patient, Paul, the 67-year-old former CEO. When he first came to me, his frustration was palpable. It wasn't just a physical issue. It was an attack on his identity. "Doc," he said, his voice cracking slightly, "I've led people my whole life. I can't even lead my own body anymore." This sense of lost control is devastating. The science is beautifully simple. Deep inside the lining of your blood vessels, an area called the endothelium, vitamin D performs a critical function. It signals the production of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a gasotransmitter, a tiny molecule that tells the smooth muscles of your arteries and capillaries to relax, to open up, to widen. When they widen, blood flows freely, powerfully, and without obstruction. It's like turning a 4-lane highway into an 8-lane superhighway. When your vitamin D levels are deficient, as they are in an estimated 1 billion people worldwide, especially older adults who spend less time outdoors and whose skin is less efficient at producing it, that signaling process breaks down. Your blood vessels become stiffer, less responsive. Your body simply cannot get blood where it needs to go, especially to the extremities. This doesn't just impact erections. It affects heart health, brain function, and overall energy. Paul's journey back was about restoring this fundamental signal. His expanded routine involved 3 parts. First, a brisk 20-minute walk every morning between 8 and 10 a.m., with his sleeves rolled up to get safe, natural sun exposure. Second, he began incorporating vitamin D-rich foods into his diet: fatty fish like salmon and mackerel twice a week, and eggs for breakfast. Third, because we live in a world where consistent sun isn't always possible, he started taking a high-quality vitamin D3 supplement, specifically one paired with vitamin K2. K2 is like the traffic cop that ensures the calcium mobilized by vitamin D goes to your bones, not your arteries. About 2 months later, Paul came for his follow-up. He walked differently. His shoulders were back. He looked me in the eye and a slow grin spread across his face. "My wife told me she has her husband back," he said. "But it's more than that, document. I feel like I have myself back." He hadn't just fixed a physical symptom. He had restored a sense of control and self-respect. Even with a superhighway for your blood, you still need high-octane fuel in the trucks. This is where our second pillar comes in, the master nutrient for cellular energy, vitamin B12. Let's think more about Robert, the 72-year-old retired firefighter. His fatigue was more than just being tired. It was a deep, pervasive exhaustion that colored his whole world. He'd stopped going to his weekly woodworking club because he couldn't focus. He'd find himself dozing off while his grandkids were trying to show him something. This wasn't laziness. This was a biological power outage. Vitamin B12 is the spark plug in your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside every one of your cells. Its job is to help convert the food you eat into adenosine triphosphate, ATP, the fundamental currency of energy in your body. Without sufficient B12, it doesn't matter how well you eat. Your cells simply cannot produce the energy to function. But its role extends even further. B12 is essential for the formation of the myelin sheath, the protective coating around your nerves. A deficiency can lead not just to fatigue, but to neurological symptoms like tingling, numbness, and memory problems. It's also critical for producing healthy red blood cells, the oxygen carriers. Low B12 means fewer, less efficient carriers, starving your muscles, brain, and organs of the oxygen they need to perform. The trap for men over 60 is absorption. As we age, our stomach lining produces less intrinsic factor, a protein required to absorb B12 from food. So even a man like Robert, who ate a balanced diet, was becoming deficient. His solution had to bypass his digestive system. We started him on a daily, high-dose methylcobalamin lozenge, the active, pre-converted form of B12, that dissolves under the tongue and is absorbed directly into the bloodstream. The change was gradual, then sudden. First, he noticed he could read a whole chapter of a book without his mind wandering. Then, he went back to his woodworking club and finished a project he'd started 6 months earlier. The final confirmation came from his wife. She called my office to say, "Doctor, I don't know what you gave him, but he's telling stories to the grandkids again. The real, long stories. I haven't heard that in years." We hadn't given him energy. We had simply given his body the key to unlock its own. Now, we've established the foundation of hydration, opened the circulatory highways with vitamin D, and fueled the system with B12. Before we get to the final, crucial pillar that protects the entire system, I need you to lean in and listen carefully. Because many men get these first parts right, but they make a devastating mistake that sabotages all their progress. After I reveal this third pillar, I am going to expose that number one mistake. And more importantly, I will reveal the secret to the synergy that makes these 3 pillars 10 times more powerful when used together. What's coming next separates the men who see marginal results from the men who truly transform. Stay with me. So, we have circulation and energy. Now, we need protection. We need a bodyguard to defend this newly restored system from the constant attacks of aging. That bodyguard is our third pillar, vitamin E. Let's remember James, the 70-year-old retired pilot. His issue wasn't a dramatic failure. It was a slow, creeping decline in his drive, his resilience. He felt, in his words, faded. He was experiencing the effects of unchecked oxidative stress. Think of oxidative stress as biological rust. It's caused by free radicals, unstable molecules that damage your cells, just like rust corrodes metal. Vitamin E is your body's premier fat-soluble antioxidant. Its primary job is to embed itself in the membrane of your cells and neutralize these free radicals on contact. It protects the delicate lining of your blood vessels from becoming damaged and inflamed, which is the first step toward plaque buildup. It protects the cell membranes of your red blood cells, keeping them flexible so they can squeeze through tiny capillaries. And here is its most vital role for a man over 60. It protects the very factories that produce your testosterone. The Leydig cells in your testes are uniquely vulnerable to oxidative stress. Vitamin E acts as their personal security detail, fending off damage and allowing them to function more efficiently. So while vitamin E doesn't boost testosterone like a steroid, it helps your body preserve and optimize its own natural production. It's about protecting the hormonal fire you still have. James's frustration came from doing the right things, but still feeling wrong. His diet was healthy, but low in the specific foods that deliver high-impact vitamin E. We didn't give him a synthetic, isolated supplement from the drugstore. We focused on a natural, full-spectrum vitamin E, one containing all 8 of its compounds, both tocopherols and tocotrienols. We also created a simple power snack for him. A small handful of raw almonds and sunflower seeds every afternoon. Took about 3 months for James to notice the shift. It wasn't a jolt of energy like B12. It was a feeling of solidity. "I just feel more present," he explained. "The little aches feel less loud. My focus is steadier. I feel like my body's on my team again." He had stopped the rust from spreading, allowing his entire system to function with less static and interference. Now, for the crucial point I promised. I've had countless men like Gerald, the 74-year-old who brought a grocery bag full of discount supplements into my office, sit before me in despair. "Doc, I'm taking all of it," he said. "D, B12, E, you name it. Nothing is changing." The number one mistake is believing that a vitamin is a vitamin. It is not. The form and quality determine everything. Cheap vitamin E is often synthetic DL-alpha tocopherol, which can actually be harmful. Cheap B12 is cyanocobalamin, which your aging body struggles to convert. Cheap vitamin D is often the less effective D2 form. Gerald was spending money on supplements that his body couldn't even use. The solution was switching to high-quality, bioavailable forms. Vitamin D3 with K2, methylcobalamin B12, and a full-spectrum, natural vitamin E. But the real magic is synergy. These three pillars aren't independent contractors. They are a team. Vitamin D opens the blood vessels. Vitamin B12 creates the oxygen-rich red blood cells to travel through those open vessels. Vitamin E protects the vessels themselves and the red blood cells from damage. When you take them together, you're not just adding, you're multiplying their effects. It's a vitality triangle that creates a powerful, positive feedback loop within your body. So how do you put this all together? Does it have to be complicated? Absolutely not. Let me paint you a picture of an ideal day. Do not be intimidated. Just see it as a goal and remember our rule. Start with just one thing. Upon waking, one large, 16-ounce glass of water. Before anything else, breakfast. With your meal, take your vitamin D3/K2 and your vitamin B12 lozenge. An ideal breakfast could be 2 eggs, 4 D and protein, and a slice of whole grain toast. Mid-morning, if possible, a 15 to 20-minute walk in the sun. This is for your body's own D production and your mental health. Lunch. A large salad with plenty of leafy greens. Drizzle it liberally with extra virgin olive oil. Afternoon snack. A small handful of raw almonds and sunflower seeds. This is your vitamin E power-up. Throughout the day, keep a water bottle handy. Aim for half your body weight in ounces of water per day. Dinner. A clean protein source like fish or chicken with plenty of colorful vegetables. Again, this is the blueprint. But your first step, your only task for tomorrow, is to pick one of these. Just one. Master it. Then add another. This is how lasting change is built. What can you expect? This isn't an overnight fix. But you are setting a powerful ripple effect in motion. The first thing you might notice within a week or two is clearer thinking from the B12 and hydration. Then you might notice more stamina on your walks. The aches and pains might seem a little quieter, thanks to the antioxidant power of vitamin E. And then one morning you will wake up before your alarm clock, feeling truly rested. You might feel that old, familiar stirring of morning vitality, a sign that your circulation is responding. That is the moment. That is the physical manifestation of hope. It's your body telling you, thank you, we're back online. This renewed physical energy will ripple out into every corner of your life, improving your mood, your relationships, and your passion for life itself. If this blueprint, this message, has given you a sense of that hope, then please do 2 things for me. First, hit that like button. Tells me this is the content you need. Second, go to the comments section and write 3 simple words. I am starting. Make that declaration to yourself and to this community of men. We've talked about vitamins and circulation, but what we're really talking about is your life. It's about having the energy to get on the floor and play with your grandchildren. It's about having the confidence and desire to be a full partner to your wife. It's about having the strength to be the rock, the patriarch, the wise elder that your family looks up to. Remember this, your story is not over. It is not even close to being over. Age is a chapter in your book. It is not the final word. The man you were is still inside you. Today, you've learned how to give him the tools to come roaring back to life. The next, most vibrant, most powerful chapter of your life begins with the very next choice you make. Take care of yourself. I am honored to be on this journey with you. I will see you in the next video.